What if you spent years building yourself, your education, your career, your personal growth, only to then feel like the moment that you became a mom, you'd have to give it all up? That's the fear that a super insightful client shared with me this week, and I think it's something that a lot of people feel but rarely say out loud. She told me, I'm scared to really pursue who I want to be, because what if I end up pouring myself into school, into career, into becoming the best version of me, only to then have it all taken away the moment that I step into motherhood? What if my whole life becomes staying at home and I lose the other parts of me I've worked so hard to develop? What if I end up stuck at home and everything I built just disappears? That honestly really hit me, because what she's describing isn't just about dreams, it's about the anxiety of feeling like you have to choose, that personal development or education or career are in direct competition with family, that to have one, you have to sacrifice the other. Maybe you felt this way too. Like if you go all in on your personal development, your education or career, then one day, in order to be the kind of parent or partner that you really want to be, you'd have to sacrifice it all. It's this fear of investing in yourself only to watch it get sidelined later. But here's the truth. Giving yourself is not the same as losing yourself. When you give yourself to family, it's a choice. It's an offering of who you are. So this is what I told her. Giving yourself is not the same as losing yourself. When you give yourself to family, it's a choice. It's an offering of who you are. Unfortunately, if you've never really developed you in the first place, or if you let who you are go completely, you're not giving. You're actually disappearing. And that's what creates so much anxiety. It's the fear of losing yourself. What's happening here is a conflict of core motivations. On one hand, there's the drive to grow, to achieve, to invest in yourself. And on the other hand, the drive for family, for connection and meaning at home. So what do you do if you value both and don't know how to pursue and to have both? When those drives, these priorities, feel like they're in competition, it often creates paralysis. Do I dedicate myself fully, or do I hold back in order to avoid the pain of losing it later? How do you give yourself completely to something without losing you in the process? Let me give you 3 important elements to navigate this well. First, you can't give what you don't have. If you don't know, understand, and value who you are, your unique wiring, your core, and what you bring to the table that no one else can, you don't need to worry too much about losing you, because you don't have you yet. This is where your personal development, education, career, and other pursuits to develop you really matter, because they're the path to building and refining that. The truth is that the better you understand who you are, what makes you truly unique, and the more you're able to recognize the amazing value that you uniquely bring to those around you, the more of you there actually is to give. This is exactly why I developed CORE. CORE helps you understand your temperament and personality. CORE helps you understand your temperament and personality like never before. It helps you learn how to step into the unchangeable parts of who you are and who you always will be. Second, you have to be willing to hold your space. If you think and feel terribly about yourself, it's impossible to believe that someone else is really going to be able to value you, even if they do. You have to be able to value you and hold that value, that space in your relationships. Then you'll be willing to own your own needs and wants without apology. It's the courage to say, this is who I am. And this is part of me that doesn't get lost just because I'm also a mom or your partner. And third, you have to be with someone who actually wants you, what you uniquely bring to the table. It never works to be in a relationship where you feel like you're constantly trying to get them to see or value you, or to try to convince them that you are really worth it. Healthy love doesn't demand that you shrink. It honors what you bring and allows you to fully show up without disappearing. You truly can have you and family. It just takes not sacrificing these 3 important things and working together to make space for both of you as you do so. If you find yourself in a relationship where you don't feel valued or you don't feel like they really want who you are, what do? Well, to really go into that is bigger than this video, but you want to start by having a really clear conversation to find out if they're willing to work with you toward the development of a healthy relationship. Find out if they're willing to make space for you. And if they're not, then you have some really difficult decisions to make. So if you've ever been caught in that tension, afraid to invest in yourself because you think you'll have to sacrifice it all for family later, let me remind you, family and personal growth do not have to compete. When the three components that we've talked about come together, family and growth don't compete. They amplify each other. If you've been afraid that pursuing yourself meant losing your future family, or that having a family meant losing yourself, please remember, giving yourself is not the same as losing yourself. You can build the life that you want. Invest in who you are, and then choose to give that person to the people you love without disappearing in the process. Because if you do it right, you don't have to pick between becoming you and building the family that you want. You were designed to do both. The real power lies in learning how to integrate them, to build a life where your investment in yourself makes you a stronger parent, a better partner, a more fulfilled human being. That's the balance. That's the power of knowing who you are at your core. Subscribe to learn more about these things and how to be a healthy you and to have the healthy relationships that you want in your life. And don't forget to take the assessment to find out what your core is.